Uh, Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Knox. I want to welcome you to our info session on the Master of Science in Business Management and Leadership. I'm joined by my assistant, Trayvon Martin, who is the advisor. I'm sorry, Bynum, who is the program advisor. So she will be sitting in and listening to some of your concerns. After today, you will be reaching out when you reach out to the school, you'll more than likely be speaking with her. Uh, Again, I'm Dr. Edwin Knox. I'm the academic director of the online degree programs. My responsibility is to ensure that the program meets standards of industry and academia, and that it delivers on the expectations of students, and that we have the type of outcomes that hopefully will springboard you into very successful careers as leaders of industries and of other organizations. Um, with an MS in business management and leadership degree, you can do a number of things, but three most specifically, you can apply for jobs in various organizations, be they nonprofit, profit, private, or public. You can work toward a promotion in your current organization, and you can use the degree as a springboard to a new career. Why would you consider coming into SBS? One is that we have a very good reputation. We are part of the City University of New York, the largest urban educational institution in the country and therefore in the world. We are regionally accredited by the Middle States Commission on Higher Education. That ensures that we meet a baseline of quality. The tuition is standard for anyone attending, and so regardless of where you are in the country, you will have the same rate as anyone else. And then we have a pretty good reputation by some assessment organizations. As you can see here, we are rated number one, ranked number one in New York City, and number 15 in New York State by the U.S. News and World Report. So we're very proud of that. And this rating of number 15 just came out recently in the last two months. So you'll be joining a pretty good program and a pretty good institution. The program outcomes. For those who come into the program, there are certain things that we believe you should take away. General business knowledge, specifically for those of you who are not coming to us from undergraduate business programs. We want to make sure that we fill in those particular gaps for you. And for those who are going to go out in leadership, we want to ensure that you understand business at a higher level than you would have at your undergraduate level. Your analytical skills would become important. Your ability to look at data and make decisions are important. Certainly, technological skills are important in the 21st century. And ultimately, you can use all of this to make the appropriate business decisions. As there has been a push on doing things right in terms of social responsibility, there's a lot of emphasis on ethics and corporate social responsibility. We are trying to ensure that as the world gets smaller and smaller because of the social dynamics, that you have a global perspective. Doesn't necessarily mean that we're training you to go take work in a foreign country, but we're certainly ensuring that you understand how the world comes together and a customer can be near or far. We want you to be able to think strategically, being able to make decisions that are the best decisions out of choices. Solving problems without creating problems. We want to make sure that you're able to do that. And certainly your written and oral communication skills become important. This last point um, about teamwork. In order to be an effective leader, you have to work with a group of people. Leaders lead people, they lead teams. So there's a lot of teamwork in this program. We do get students who are used to working by themselves, prefer to work by themselves, believe that they get better outcomes when they work by themselves. Unfortunately, in a program like this, you do not get the opportunity to work solely by yourself on all things. You will get to do that on some things, but the team approach is extremely, extremely important in a program like this. So get used to conflict resolution, having difficulties, but in the long run, knowing that you will learn from the outcome, and it'll be an expectation when you walk away from here and go into industry to lead groups of people for the organizations that you eventually will end up working with. Our degree structure is around 30 credits. That's roughly 10 courses. They're broken down where 21 credits are core. They are required courses that we have determined are the most important skills at the time that every student leaving this program should have. Then we have 6 elective credits, and that is left up to the student and what that student wishes to pursue. So there is a group of courses that you can select 2 courses from. They may be more in line with something specifically. If you're interested in human resources, or you find that you're interested in accounting or finance, you can sort of add to your knowledge by taking 2 additional courses in those areas. And then we have a capstone. That capstone course allows you to bring together all of your classes and showcase your ability to integrate them in how you think and how you make decisions. That brings it all to 30 credits. The required courses, and I would like to say uh, that we are in the process of doing a program review. So you'll notice the asterisk that said required courses, and that they are subject to change. They will not change drastically, but there may be some shifts in courses in the required section. But for the most part, you will definitely have an organizational behavior and leadership course, accounting for business decisions, quantitative decision makings. That's looking at data and understanding how to read data, analyze data, and use that data for making decisions. Certainly, information systems and technology, some of the things that are similar to what we're doing today, how technology has infused the work environment. Economics for business decisions. All students going through business need to understand the economic environment, because that's the environment for which we all participate. Business law and ethics in a digital age. Certainly looking at law and ethics is important. So that course is part of the core. And then international finance, understanding not just how to bring money in and control money, but how to make decisions when it comes to the use of money is a part of the required courses. Um, a sample of our elective courses would be negotiation and conflict, current issues in global business, project management, risk management, leadership development, entrepreneurship in a global context. As you can see, they're very different. Um, every student would have an opportunity to select 2 courses here. These courses actually will grow the pool of courses to select from. We offer the courses on a rotating basis, so you would have to pay attention to when the courses are offered. They will normally be offered either spring or fall, and some will be offered in the summer sessions. Our capstone options are pretty much changing. I will tell you, um, we will be looking at the thesis course and the global strategic management as the capstone option. The other 2, the global virtual enterprise and the applied business research, will be elective courses for those of you who would be interested in taking those 2 very dynamic courses, but they are currently being considered um, uh, as no longer as capstones, but as options for all students to take. Prerequisite requirements. For those of you who come from non-business undergraduate majors, we must ensure that you have a basic foundation and appreciation for business that undergirds some of the additional knowledge you will learn at the master's level. So there are 4 courses that we will have you go back and take at the undergraduate level, or some other way of assessing those skill sets: financial accounting, statistics, micro and macroeconomics, and computer applications, and that is really more for Excel. You can take these courses through CLEP, which is cheaper and faster, but it requires self-study on your part, and you take it when you're ready. Or you can take what we call prior learning assessment. Basically, if you have worked with Excel for a while, you can get in a prior learning course, but then you have to create a portfolio to show that you can do or have done many of the concepts that are embedded in a computer applications course or a microeconomics course or a statistics course, or you can simply just take the class. You do not need to take the class here at SPS. You can take the class at any accredited school. So you can take it before you get into the program. I do stress that if you get into the program, that you try to get these courses out of the way as quick as possible, because the more you understand this, the deeper your efficacy of learning will be in your actual required courses. These courses do not qualify you for any financial support, because they are in fact undergraduate courses. Um, so I would certainly encourage you to keep this in mind as you navigate your tenure here at SBS. The program characteristics, highly collaborative, again, because of the teamwork, because of your colleagues and everyone working in teams and the number of courses you're going to have. You'll probably end up working with everyone that comes in the cohort to which you were admitted. It's certainly interactive, highly participatory mode of learning. So you will need to be an active learner. Um, Assignments require a great degree of engagement, so you will be highly engaged Monday through Friday, and then working quite a bit on Saturday and Sunday as well to keep up with some of the assignments. We use Blackboard learning platform. Some of you are probably using it in your own organizations, but it's a mode of delivery. You may be familiar with other things like Moodle and those other sorts of learning platforms. Our courses maximum limits are 25 students, but I would tell you you will probably have courses with a few less than 25, but that's still a very good teaching ratio, and we restrict ourselves to the 25 limit. You can attend part-time or full-time. Part-time normally is the choice of the majority of our students. Very few people will attempt full-time, but you are welcome to do that, and it is in fact doable. Our courses are offered in the fall and spring semester. There are 15 weeks each during those sessions, and then we have a 7-week summer sessions, and that's basically what we call accelerated. You'll still get the same amount of information. It'll just be collapsed in a shorter period of time, but the expectations of the amount of hours you put into the class and the amount of hours you put outside of the class would be the same. You'll just be doing much more in a short, you'll be doing as much in a shorter period of time. So the 7-week summer sessions are accelerated, and then we have our traditional 15 weeks during the fall and the spring. Financial aid is available to you via loans, scholarships, and employment reimbursement. And as you put in your application, you'll have an opportunity to engage our bursar and our financial aid folks. What is it like to learn online? It's no different than your traditional course, except that the place that you take it is online. So you'll be doing a lot of things on computers. We're trying to make it as engaging as a traditional course. The only thing is we are asynchronous, meaning that you can take the course you can engage the course anytime of day, whether it be early in the morning, late at night, in the middle of the day, lunchtime, wherever, and you'll still be able to get everything that anyone else has gotten in the course. But it requires you to engage other students, because you are responding to questions that the professor has, or the questions that your colleagues have, or working on some type of team. But it will feel just like your traditional course, except that it will be online. When we think about our faculty, I'll go to the third bullet there. Our faculty are highly passionate. They have a love for students and for teaching, and they're very, very committed to the student's success. So I will encourage you, whether you hear my voice again or not, make sure wherever you end up that the most important person to get to know is your professor, not just for the grades, but for lifelong support as you move through. So part of what you get when you go into a program like this is these consultants. So please take the time to get to know them. They are responsible for what you take away from the classroom. All of them are extensively trained to teach online. We require that they go through a teaching online certificate program. By the time they are done with that, they know how to manage online, but we continue to ensure that they have professional development, learning new skill sets or new ways of teaching online so they can, in fact, advance the experience for the students. Online. Many of our faculty are adjuncts who come out of corporate situations, so they have firsthand knowledge of how theories and concepts are being applied in real time. And then many of them have also very strong academic credentials. They are required at a minimum to have an MBA, and many, if not all, have PhDs in their discipline. So they are philosophers who are constantly thinking about the unanswered question and what is on the horizon so they can deliver a timely education that will last you well beyond the time that you walk away from the institution. Our students, pretty much like you, most are working adults. Many are in career transitions. Our school was started to help students who, to sort of deliver for students who could not go in the traditional brick and mortar. Um, so many of them are working. They're not just full-time students. They have families of their own, uh, or they need to work on a degree to fit in with their schedule. Um, we have students from all around the world, from all 50 states, and certainly from a number of countries, uh, uh, other countries. So it makes for a very rich and dynamic experience. Again, should you come to us, I hope that you will engage your colleagues and learn as much from them about what it is that you're doing as you will learn from the teacher or the instructor or other folks working here at the institution. Uh, in order to be successful in an online program, not just here at SPS, you need to be organized and have a good sense of time management. It is very, very important because there you won't get the teacher constantly on you. Some of the onus would be on you to make sure that you deliver on the schedules that have been put out. You need to be self-directed and committed to the program. I always tell students to really think about if this is the right time. You don't want to try to come to school, squeeze it in as a side issue when you have other things that are confronting you, like family matters or professional matters that might interfere with your ability to perform. So be sure that you are committed to this and you have the time to commit to achieving the degree. You you must be willing to ask questions. Just like I would hope that you would want people who work for you or your kids to ask you questions. We expect that you will ask questions. We expect that you don't have all of the answers. School was not put here for people who got all the answers, but people who want to learn additional answers. So we really want to encourage your willingness to ask questions, and that's very, very important. And then support from those around you. Not only do you want support from your peers in your courses, but you really should try to make sure that you have a family structure and friendship structure that knows that you are attempting to do this work in that they are committed to keeping you on track, pushing you when you don't want to be pushed. So ask for that before you start the program. Make a commitment that you won't get upset, but get them, get your family and friends to buy into sort of supporting you, and that means pushing you when you don't feel like it. Student services. As in all traditional schools, we have career services. They're online. We do have a campus on 31st Street. We have two buildings there. So, but we are on 31st Street. The two buildings are between 7th and 6th Avenue. So you can always feel free to come and visit us if you are in New York City or close, or if not, you can certainly get us online. Career services should be attended to very early to start talking about what you're trying to accomplish, get to know them, they get to know you, and then they get to be able to point out some opportunities or help you understand what the criteria is for an opportunity that you wish to pursue. You have one advisor from start to finish. As I tell you, Trevi Bynum is here with me. She's not on speaker, but she is the advisor for the master's program that you'll be entering into, and she will be your go-to person. Anything she doesn't know, she has full access to this entire campus to find out answers, and certainly anything about the academic policy process for the program, she has 100% access to myself. Tutoring. We do know that many of you will come and have some challenges with some previous knowledge that you may need to go back over and review. And some of you will engage challenges that are new because of the courses that you are taking. So we do have tutoring support, and that tutoring support is online and on campus. We have writing fellows, we have quantitative thinking fellows for those who may be in courses that are heavy in quantitative issues or analytical issues. We are a part of award-winning library, which is also accessible online or on campus, and it is working with Baruch College, that is well known here in New York and certainly in the region. And they have received a number of awards for their stacks and their reserves. So there's a lot of help there. The help desk, and the help desk is normally related to the technology. So at any time when you're having a problem, and we'll post the hours, it's not 24, but it's pretty much, if I'm not mistaken, about 14 hours in terms of two shifts, and on the weekend that they could get you back on track should you run into a problem. Orientation. Trevi Trevon, who goes by Trevi, so if you start to deal with it, you hear that name. It's the same person. She's also responsible to give an orientation before school starts 2 weeks out, that she guides you through what it feels like to be online, how to do some of the work that's online, and also making sure that you have the appropriate assessments that can help you identify your strengths and weaknesses, so we can fill in some gaps and make sure that you're successful from the beginning to the end of the program. For those of you who are interested in starting your own business or just want to understand how to think entrepreneurially inside an organization, we have the CUNY SPS Entrepreneurship Network, and it's student, alumni, corporate folks who get together and they talk about how do you look at business startup, how do you grow a business and sustain it. So if you are an entrepreneur, or if you just have creative ideas and you're the type of person that want to help an organization re-engineer itself, I would encourage you to become a part of this network. The admissions criteria. Now, I do want to say this because I know your eyes have run straight over the criteria. This is taken comprehensively, and which means that we look at everything. Although there are some definitive numbers here, those numbers can vary when we look at the whole package. But the first thing you must have is an undergraduate degree from an accredited college. All your transcripts are needed, including graduate work, if you've done that. We look for a GPA of 3.0. Um, that's the baseline. You need to come into the program and maintain that. You need to maintain that 3.0 from the time you enter until graduation. You must have a 3.0 to graduate. The personal statement of 500 to 700 words. When you're writing a personal statement, it really should be personal. It should be about you. It should be about why you would want to take uh, this course of study, how it relates to who you are as a person, and why you would be successful at it. You need 2 letters of recommendation. I strongly suggest that you get that from a professor who can speak to your academic abilities, or a supervisor who can speak to your work habits and your strengths and weaknesses as you work in an organization. You should have a resume that shows relevant work experience. Um, any work experience is good. It's not to say that if you don't have it that you can't get in the program, but work experience is really good, and particularly if it showcases that you've worked with teams or that you had some engagement in leading people. Um, should we have any questions that might need clarity, and it may be critical to making a decision to admit you, we may, in fact, reach out to you, and we could do that either by phone or a Skype call or some sort of online program that allows for our interaction. And the big thing that I think is very exciting about our program is that we do not require the GMAT or the GRE. So we do look at your credentials holistically. So the better you prepare these, and particularly your personal statement, really take the time to sort of ensure that we understand why you would want to do this. Your letter of recommendations are extremely important based on who they're from. Do not submit letter of recommendations from your friends or colleagues, but it should be people who had some oversight for for your engagement in their organization or inside the classroom. Um, Tuition. As of spring 2019 and going into fall 2019, you'll have a cost of $455 per credit. Each course is 3 credit hours in the graduate program, and so for those of you who just want to take and pay for a number of courses, it'll never be more than $5,385 per semester full time. In-state tuition rates applies to everyone, like I said. So regardless of where you are geographically, you'll pay the same rate. Additional fees may vary. They may be technology fees, student government association fees. There may be some fees, and we can probably get a list of what current fees there are, but they normally aren't very heavy. Um, Books and materials are important. We are now in the process of trying to go to what we call open educational resources, where it reduces the cost of textbooks. However, it's very difficult to find um, OER materials right now for some of the upper level courses, but we are in an active mode, like most of CUNY, in trying to figure out how we can reduce the cost of textbooks and material. So that's an initiative that's going on, and it may reduce the overall cost of your college education. Again, financial aid is available in the form of loan scholarships and employment reimbursements. For more information, um, your advisor, Trevon Bynum, her email is there. We do have a generic business uh, site that you could write to, but I think you're better positioned by writing directly to Trevon Bynum. As you see, she goes by the name Trevi, and you can always visit us at our SPS CUNY website to find out additional information as well. With that said, are there any questions that we can answer for you? It looks like there are a number of questions. For Karen Hamilton, suppose we have already taken uh, the prerequisites doing undergrad. If you've already taken them, then you are given credit for them. There's no need to take them again. We do not have a time limit on when they should have been taken. As long as you can show that you've already taken the courses, they will be waived. I see that Trevon has already provided some responses. That's how good she is. Will there be any class sessions anytime throughout? Oh, 1 second here. Oh, okay. Uh, no, there is no physical classes. Now, what you may have, some professors really enjoy talking to students, that they will give optional online real time sort of discussions, but they are in fact optionals because we are synchronous. It means that you should be able to engage it at your leisure. But from time to time, you will have some professors who will simply say at 12 noon on this day, I will be available. I'll lecture on these things. If you can make it, make it. If you can't, the recording will be placed up for you to sort of get an understanding of what they talked about then. Um, the minimum grade requirement, again, for undergraduate courses is C or better. For graduate courses are B or better. And keep in mind that you must maintain a 3.0 GPA throughout the program and to graduate. Will I be able to pursue a certificate at the same time as? Uh, it's possible. There's no restriction on choices that you make. Now, there are some things that we will limit because we just know that it is good for the student, but 99% of decisions to be made will be made by the student. So you accept the consequences that come with it. We are here to advise you, not to direct you beyond the program. But yes, you can uh, do that. Thanks again. Can I have letters recommendations written by a current supervisor? Um, And yes, yes. Uh, Sometimes it's better when you're going into an academic program if you could reach back to a professor to speak about your academic promise. That works because you are talking about coming into an academic situation. So knowing a professor can speak that, hey, you are promising student that you handle your academics well. That's better. But certainly someone who can speak to your work habits and how you function inside of an organization is equally important. So the answer to that is yes. Um, yep, we accept students from anywhere. For the student that wanted to know from where, how does an MS in business compare to an MBA? An MBA is a general business degree. It means that you have a breadth of knowledge about every aspect of business. You may concentrate with a few extra courses in a particular area. MS degrees have what we call a deeper sort of dive uh, into a specific arena. So since we're looking at leadership, we look at the things that leaders should know. The MBA, while it is the leadership degree of industry, it's a much broader sort of degree. Now you can get additional um, information outside of the context of leadership and management by taking some of the elective courses. But the MBA is much broader than MS degrees. MS degrees, again, they have a deeper sort of appreciation for a specific realm of knowledge, and in this case, management and leadership. Um, as a full-time student, when is it expected graduation if you start the program? Well, most students come to the program part-time. It really depends on you. If you were a part-time student taking 6 credits, that's 2 classes. So it may take you 5 semesters. So let's say you go spring, fall, summer, fall, spring. So I would say just taking 2 classes, you could do it in 5 semesters, which would really be about 2 years in the program. So it's really depending on you and how many classes. But I just gave you a basic example. Just with 2 classes, it would be about two years. Um, yes, syllabi is available to review. Uh, we don't have them all posted, but if there is anything in specific, we could show an old syllabus for a course that you intend to take. However, we cannot show you the syllabus of the current instruction. Those syllabus are that syllabi for all of the courses are provided at the start on the first day of class. But an old syllabus can give you an idea of what's in a course. Um, are there any dual programs with Baruch? No, but that's a good idea. You just gave us an idea to consider. But I would tell you that um, probably 40% of our professors are also professors at Baruch College. Um, I like the thought about the joint MS MBA degree. Something to consider. Thank you for that one. So we should show our degrees. Not sure I'm clear on that. I think it's Paola. So if you could just sort of expand on that a bit for me, that would be helpful. What are the requirements? Um, I went over those, so I'm not sure if you're asking about what are the requirements to get into the program. Um, I could review that, but we're going to send out a link with all of this information on it, and then you can go back through that again. And if you have questions at that time, please get with Trevi and let her know specifically. And between her, myself, and the rest of the college community, we should be able to answer more specifically. After submitting an application, how soon will the candidate be notified of their status? Well, we try to we try to function within a time period, but it depends on how large the application pool is. But I would say you should know something within 2 to 3 weeks that we at least make a process. But remember, that's after the application is completed. We do not see the application to make any decision on it until every requirement has been met in the application. It is then forwarded from admissions to the department, letting us know it is complete, and then we take from that time and begin to look at it. Some of you may have submitted applications in December. That is a heavy downtime, and then we really do not get settled into school until around mid-February, end of February. So we're starting to make decisions now. So if you did something much earlier, you should be hearing from us very, very soon. I heard from an uncle who took an online master's that it's not as credible as fully in-class programs. There's always been the challenge to whether online degrees are are credible or not. But what we have is we have had a number of institutions across the country making sure that they answer that question. So the credibility has been fixed in a number of ways. So the credibility is no longer as questionable as the school that you go to. So it's really important that you take a look at the institution you're going to. And again, we are part uh, of a national institution that's ranked and looked at in various ways by different accrediting bodies. So our accreditation sort of uh, gives us credibility that we're doing the right thing. But it really comes down to the reputation of the school because schools don't wish to blemish that. But online degrees are equally as competitive and rigorous as inline degrees, and it really it's based on the school. Uh, how about if you graduated 20 years ago and you don't? I would tell you to avoid using colleagues. Try to use supervisors. Try to use someone who has the ability or some form of oversight. But I do want to encourage you from this point forward. Part of what your cost of college is the relationship with your professors. Uh, do not leave the professors behind. Get the degree and walk away. Try to make sure that you get to know professors who you can call on throughout your career, um, because that's what is important about your degree. They helped you, so they'll stay in touch with you if you stay in touch with them. If you can't go back 20 years and look at a professor, that's fine. Just try to work with someone who has supervised you in some sort of way. That could be helpful, and it may not be someone who directly supervised you, but they're in a higher position that they know what it is that you do. For example, I have a bachelor's degree in business administration. Um, I'm not making the connection with this issue. But when we look at bachelor's degrees, let's say in the administration, 9 out of 10 times you've already met the prerequisites. And if you met the prerequisites and you have an undergraduate degree in business, we think that you are in fine shape if we admit you based on the other criteria um, that we will consider in making a decision whether you are admitted into the program or not. If I've taken the yes. If you've already taken them, they will count. But let me remind you of this. The With time, we lose some of the efficacy of our knowledge if we don't use it. So we don't ask that you retake the courses, but you should be aware of what in those courses would be needed in the courses you would take. So that means you may need to refresh yourself, but you don't need to go through a 15 week course, and you don't need to spend money to take the course over. Would you recommend this course to someone looking to join human resources? Yes, I think if you're looking to join human resources, because it's a leadership program, make sure that you take some of the courses that deal with dealing with people, and that's part of what leadership is. We do have two courses that are electives. One will be offered not in the fall, but in the spring. That is actually a HR course. Uh, and so we may even be looking at an MS in human resources at some point. But we do have two additional courses that you could take that would sort of round out your understanding of HR. Yes. How many credits must be taken? Part-time students, you don't want to take more than two. If you want to be part-time, 9, you become in graduate school, you become a full-time student. Um, huh? Yeah, so you can take just one class. Yes, just to be a part-time student. When you get up to 9 credits, you're going to actually end up being a full-time student. I studied in my country university, and I transferred to Medgar Evers College, and will be graduating. Do I need to also? Yes, yes. Because we are here in CUNY, we're going to see most of that. But sometimes it's better for you to have them notify the college. We are a part of CUNY along with Medgar Evers. So when we go up in our inter university system, we can see your performance and your grades and things over there. But admissions will tell you if it's necessary. Um, and again, you can always reach out to Trevi, and she could help you navigate with admissions of things that might still be outstanding. When does the fall semester start? The fall semester start normally the last week of August, uh, and I believe this year it's August 27th. Does the School of Professional Uh, no, we don't have a graduate assistant program. That is something that has been talked about. The details still need to be worked out, but at this time, no, we don't have a graduate assistant program. Is, is there an additional fee to this particular program, like an excellence fee that some? No, no, we don't have additional fees outside of just normal student fees. And like I said, I'll get those for you, but those fees are just common wherever you go to make sure that you have a good library, that you have a good information systems technology issues. So Yeah, but they're basic. That the basic type of fees you'll get, but addition to the program, no, there are no additional fees. When we talk about jobs, most of the jobs are going to be um, pretty much around management level jobs in different types of corporations and different industries. So we have some folks who come to us already in executive positions. They just are coming to get their degree to catch up with them, and a number of students are hired into management positions. It really is important for you, and we have a number of organizations we have placed people with, such as Ernest and Young, uh, Cushman and Wakefield, Con Edison, the MTA, the U.S. Postal um, Service, United Nations. Um, who else do we have? Uh, the New York College of Technology. So some of our students go in there. MTV has hired some people. JetBlue has hired folks. So we have many, many places that hire our graduates. But I would strongly stress, once you are in a program, get to know career services. Do not wait until you get ready to graduate to start thinking about your employment opportunity. The sooner you start dealing with the folks in career services, the quicker they can get to know you. You get to know what the opportunities look like, and you can prepare yourself for that. Uh, okay, I think I've answered there. Are there any math courses? Yes, there is. No, no, not for the graduate. There's the accounting course, but not necessarily a math course. So you'll have some quantitative courses to deal with. You do have that statistics issue. You will see those kind of things again, but not that you will be in a statistics course, but it'll call on your appreciation of statistics. In some courses, they'll call on your appreciation of database management, or how to navigate um, things like Excel and that sort. But accounting and finances are probably where you're going to use most of your math skills. Uh, when we look at the spring, once we close in the fall, we'll open up our applications for spring 2020. We will probably close applications about 3 weeks before school starts to make sure that we're able to process students and get them into courses. So I would tell you somewhere around the first week or the second week of August, we'll shut down the applications for fall and open them up for spring. Can you clarify if all prerequisites must be? No, no, no. We will accept you uh, with a need for the prereqs, but we'll accept you as a conditional student, and we'll tell you what the conditions are. Some students will come to us and they have just one course, and then we may accept a student that needs all four courses. So please don't let the prereqs get in the way. But I would encourage you to try to get them out of the way as quick as possible. So you could possibly be accepted with a requirement to do all four prereqs. We have courses that do not require any prereqs, so you're able to start your graduate level courses right away. But I think that is restricted now to about three courses that do not require any prereqs. Uh, but I would encourage you to get the prereqs out of the way as fast as possible, but it would not stop you from getting in the being accepted into the program. Yes, online degrees can be more work until you get the handle of it. Most times it's difficult when you are new to it and you're trying to get habits and behaviors together. But in terms of the amount of work, not more. I've taught primarily in the classroom setting, and I don't think that my online classes have more information in them. But I think students making the adjustments to it and having to be self-governant is more of a problem because there's more writing and less talking online. And particularly when it's asynchronous, your communication skills and having to sit and type everything takes a little bit longer than your ability to speak those. So more work up to a point. Is there a specific amount of recommendation? Two. Two are required. Um, I would tell you not to really go overboard unless there is something you that you just really want a third one. But two, I'm looking only for two. If not, why? I'm not sure what that question is. Kayana, if you could restate the question, I see you just said, if not, why not? Oh, and is that in, well, I'll let you, let us know exactly what that is so we could connect the question. Okay. In validation of the program, our accreditation validates our program. We are accredited in order to give degrees, and this is by the government because we are dealing with taxpayers' money, and taxpayers demand that we are giving valid degrees. They come and they look at what we're doing. And if we're not doing the right thing, they put us on notice and we have to clean it up. So far, that has not been the case. Again, um, we are we are rated rather high because I think of the validity of our program and meeting benchmarks that are the expectations of future employees and other higher educational institutions. Yeah. Again, this is we are the City University of New York. We are one of the most reputable schools in the nation, and certainly have an international um, reputation. So, what you may want to do is just go online and sort of peruse City University of New York and understand that's what we are a part of. We just decided to start the school so we could do more online degrees, but we have a very, very strong reputation, and we are achieving a very strong reputation among online degree programs in the country. So the people can have a good reference about the school. Yes. Oh, yes, yes. Is it possible to complete my master's in a year? Yes, it is. But I would caution you to not go after the degree and miss the knowledge. We have a lot of students who are interested in getting out, getting paper, and trying to get employed. The problem with that is if you get the paper and you don't really put in the time to get the knowledge, and remember, you're coming out of a leadership program where people will put you in charge, and it will be quickly recognized whether you know what you should know or not. So the paper is the least important thing. The knowledge that you get along the process is important. So I would tell you, yes, you can complete it in a year. It is pretty rigorous. Many of our professors are while they are caring, they can be they can hold you accountable because part of caring about you is making sure you get what you should get. And if you're not doing you're not meeting the expectations, you're probably going to have a very hard time here. So we do have a number of students who fail and get poor grades. And it has a lot to do with the professors holding students accountable for what they should know. And remember, a good percentage of our professors are industry folks, and they know what is really, really required of you and how you use the concepts and theories that you learn here in industry. And many of them take issue to having people run through the program and not get out of it what they should know. So, yes, you can complete it. I do caution you to make sure that you have adequate time to put into learning as opposed to just checking the box and getting the paper. So, yes, that's there's pros and cons, and I'm sure you'll consider both. And those courses, all courses are taught online. Um, uh, Here in our business program. So if you're talking about the prerequisites, you can get the prerequisites online, or any course you can get online. That's part of our programs. We're completely online. Okay, Kenya, you're referring to the math course. Why do we have math courses? There are some math that is applicable for business environments, and we want to make sure that all of the math that you had, that it brings it down. Um, I'm sorry. Please forgive me for 1 second. In our graduate program, the heaviest math courses is going to be in your accounting and finance. We do not have a specific math class set for students in our graduate program, but there is an understanding that you come to this process with a good sense of math and how math applies to business decision making, which is going to be the title. Not sure of that, of the degree. It's a Master's of Science in Business Management and Leadership. That's the title of the degree. Is a recording of this? Yes, we will be sending out a recording of this session. So if you didn't quite understand something I said or missed out on something I said, certainly you can review that. But again, once you review it, if you're still not clear, please make sure you reach out to Trevi, Mr. Von Bynum. Do the official transcript have to go straight from my prior? Yes, unless Nicole, this is for Nicole Page. Yes, your official transcript needs to go from your academic institution where you earn those credentials directly to our admissions office, or you can bring them in a seal signed envelope, official envelope, if you just wanted to bring them in. I believe, and I can't speak for the admissions process, I think up to a point they will take the student copy if the official degree hasn't been offered yet. Let's say that you are currently finishing off your last 3 courses. They may be willing to look at your student transcript up until you're completed. Then they will require you to submit the official transcript. How can you apply? You will go online to apply yourself. Oh, she's sending. Trevi is going to send the application link to everyone, but you'll be applying online. Okay. What is the next step to begin? Is to just start filling out the application. Is this available? You can save your information, and some stuff you could, some parts of the application, just go ahead and submit it. Admissions will hold on to that process until everything is completed. Graduating CUNY in the fall. So will the decision be delayed? No, we know where you are in the process. If you are in our undergraduate degree program, we know where you are, how you're faring, and we can make the decision which you're still completing your degree. Again, we will still hold you accountable to what the final transcript is in terms of overall performance. You're welcome. Okay. What are the next steps? Can I transfer my? Now I'm going to take that as a joke because the school is defunct. No, we will not take transfer credits from Trump. But let me do speak to one thing. For those of you who have taken graduate work, while we do not give transfer credit toward the degree, we will allow you to waive a course and require you to take an elective course. So if you've already taken organizational behavior, we will give you the right to waive that requirement so you can take an elective course. You will take all 10 courses here in the program, whether it be through the core courses or through the elective courses, but you will take a total of 10 courses here. And you must take in consideration, we are only a 30-degree program. When you look at other courses, programs around the country, you'll find that most are in excess of 36, and some will go as high as 42. So we don't we won't take it for credit. We'll waive it so it allows you to take another course that gives you an even broader sense of what's going on. Each class takes how many months? A semester runs roughly about 15 weeks, so it's just a little over 4 months in each semester. Again, in the summer, we do have the 7-week course, which cuts it down in half, And so that's just a little over 2 months, about 2 months total, actually a little less than 2 months. Do all courses have video lectures? No, we are instituting that. A number of professors have video lectures. We are flushing out our technology. We are a very young school, so we're flushing out our technology a little bit better in terms of a video studio, which we just built about a year ago. So all of our faculty now are in the process of making videos. Many of them, well, all of them will have video components, and you'll get those in there, but you will probably start to see more of them inside the classes. If you are a CUNY SV grad, yes, your transcripts are on file. If they're not from CUNY, because we can see them, but it's really left up to the admissions director whether or not he will ask you to submit those. 9 out of 10 times not, because they really are trying to reduce too much, putting too much on you that we can take care of ourselves. Thank you, Frank. I'm glad we sort of satisfied your informational needs. Our recommendation needed if you already have, yes, they are needed. They're needed for us. So you may want to ask the same people who wrote the previous ones to just simply write them again for us. But yes, they are needed. I'm a financial economics major, and I'll be done with my bachelor's degree in June. Okay. Is it advisable to start my application now? Yes. You could start your application when you finish the application completely. Will determine when you get in, but you could start that application now. And let's say you complete it and we accept you for the fall, but you decide that you want to wait until the spring. That's fine. We'll just delay your start until the spring, but you can start the application whenever you like, and then you can finish it when you like. But once it's finished, we then will admit you for the next the semester for which we are getting ready to start, or if you apply for a later start date. Okay. It seems like we've addressed all of the questions. I want to thank you again for joining me and Trevi for this information session. If once you review the recorded session, you still have questions, please do not hesitate to give us a call so we can help you out. By all means, please do not decide whether you're going to get in the program or not. That should be left to me. I would simply encourage you to complete the application. Let me have a look at it, and then I'll make a decision whether or not you are admitted into the program. And in some cases, we do have some other options that we can offer up, like a certificate program, that if we believe you have potential, but there's a shortcoming, we will recommend the certificate program, which is 3 of the graduate courses. So once you're done with the advanced management certificate program, you would simply transfer those credits into the program and continue from there. But you may not be directly admitted to our program initially, but the option may be that we admit you into the certificate program with an understanding that if you complete it, that we will then bring you into the full degree program. So if there are no further questions, I want to bid you all a great evening, and thank you again for joining us. Have a good evening, and I hope to see your applications come across my desk. Good night.